morning. It's time for Chief Lalley in the Fox Valley. I'm Christy Hilton, here with Chief Lalley.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
We have a year to recap.
We do. So before we get into that, this is your official last Lalley in the Valley.
Yes.
You are retiring and moving on to a new chapter in your life, a new opportunity. So we're going to have to find a replacement.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same, but I really appreciate all your help over the past year and doing the show together and getting the information out, and you've done amazing things for the police department, and I will miss you.
I'll miss you too.
But I'm sure you'll be watching, right?
I will be.
You're going to be one of our.
I'm gonna be one of the
we're going to have
5
11
people.
viewers now. Yes, right.
I'm all over it. I
Okay.
can't wait.
All right. Well, sounds good. So so obviously yesterday we released our annual report for 2020, and so this is a recap of some of the things that we spoke about on Friday with the Fuzz and the information that's actually in the report. So I don't know if you want to just kind of hit some of the high points, and then I can jump in on some of the initiatives going forward then this year.
Sure. Well, crime is down. That's a high point.
Yes.
We're at our lowest in 49 years. Our Part 1 crimes dropped 3%. Part 2 dropped 13% for an overall decrease in our crime of 11%. So
Overall.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have been talking about this throughout the year, especially with COVID, and how will that impact crime stats. And so there were some categories that we did see a spike, one being our assaults, and we've talked about that on the show and talking about our gunfire incidents and how that category. But overall, we continue to see a decrease in our burglary and motor vehicles. We continue to see a decrease in some of our Part 1 crimes, even through COVID. So, and again, the question is, how and why does that happen? And it could be a combination of things, none of which we're going to be able to definitively say this is why this happened. So great news for Elgin, a 49-year low. We continue to push those numbers down. And again, that doesn't happen by accident. That happens, I think, just with our initiatives, our programs, our messaging, and then also our community being involved, being engaged, calling us when you notice things, being willing to come forward and give information. There's an awareness in the community that hopefully people know that people are paying attention, and so being good neighbors and looking out for each other. So I want to take a minute just to say thank you to the Elgin community, because we are not and cannot do what we do without you and without your support and without listening to us, being involved with us, both good and bad. So thank you, Elgin. I think these numbers, reflect our hopefully continued positive relationship and always working to get better, because again, obviously I've said many times we're not a perfect police department, but we're definitely trying. We try hard. So just want to take a minute to say thank you, Elgin, for everything that you've done through 2020, especially with COVID and just changing our operations. And we're going to still kind of see how that's affected our community and affected some crime issues that may come up or may not come up. It's something that we're going to have to keep looking at.
Absolutely. One of the things that came up too, just in Part 2 crimes, we had a gigantic increase in our fraud due to the IDES, the unemployment scam.
Mm-hmm.
So that caused a really big jump. That was probably our biggest jump of all in 2020, was in that category.
And I know that we put some information out about that. We've taken a lot of reports, and again, was that because there was more opportunity, right? Because people are at home in COVID, or who knows? Because we've never experienced that, right? So I guess
crazy.
It is something that you could attribute to just the very unique year that we had, and hopefully in the next few months here, things maybe level out and we get some sense of normalcy. So
that'd be wonderful
for everybody, right? In every way.
So yes. What are we looking forward to in 2021?
Yeah, so just, as we move into 2021, there's a couple things that will really be our focus. We always have our primary goals of focusing on reducing crime, focusing on traffic safety, promoting our employee development, and then our community engagement. Those are always our 4 overreaching goals. But then we really focus on some of the more important initiatives that we feel that needs to be accomplished. And one is we have been awaiting our final report from the Center for Policing Equity. Our information was given to them in 2019. They're still working through the data. I anticipate getting a report sometime here in the next month or so. And then based on what we find in that report or what we see, which I will make the report public, we're going to have to see if there's some work that needs to be done there. So we're just anticipating, depending on what comes back to us. Also, we're continuing our focus to have our policies accredited through the Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. So this past year, we've been updating all our policies. Our policies are located online. The goal is once all our policies are updated is to submit that for the accreditation process. The House Bill 3653 that's caused some conversation. We're still waiting to see the final what that looks like in the end, and then based on that, see what are the things that we need to do in the police department. Many of the things, such as body cameras, it's really not an issue for us because we've had them for such a long time. Some things with training, we do a lot of the training requirements. So just really seeing how that ends up, and then what we need to do on our end. So it's a lot of waiting to see what a report is, and then from that point, figuring out what are the things that we need to do. And then really just focusing on the mental and physical health of police officers and everyone in the department, civilian staff. It's really, this year I think has highlighted a lot of stressors across the community and in the department. And we do have robust programs for mental health, but we can always do better. And making it a priority and making sure that, everyone's different. And so how people respond to things are different, but making sure that we have a plan or we have a resource available for whatever that individual may need. So that's going to really be a focus for us too. And lastly, because, and you and I have talked about this, in the next few years here, the police department is going to have a lot of people retiring, and Christy is one of them. So, and these are things that happen. We know that they're happening. It's a weird time. It's been like this for the past couple of years, where retirements slowly started happening. And right now, in the next couple of years here, we're going to see a lot of retirements, and it's because of the people have the time and opportunities come up. So it's really a focus to encourage and to support and make sure that training is given to the next generation of leadership. And that is something that it's going to require for us to take more time and making sure that people are prepared for that next step. And and when people leave, sometimes people can fall right into those roles, and it's not a really big jump depending on how much time they have. But sometimes it may happen sooner than someone expected, and so we want to make sure that people are prepared. We want to continue to create a culture of learning, understanding, respect, but also making sure that the technical things that we need to do our jobs, that decision-making process, that's in place. And so our supervisors do an exceptional job, but it's always for us to continue to better ourselves and to continue to work to make sure that we're reaching the best practices and standards. So that will be our focus too. So a lot going on, but I think overall a really good year based on the circumstances. Again, the men and women in the police department are some of the best people that I have known, and I think that this result is not just because of it's not by chance. It happens because you have people are here who are dedicated, working with a great community. So I want to say thank you to everyone in the police department for the work that they do and continue to do, even when our scenario changes a little bit, right? Masks and not having contact as much, but we still have found a way to be professional and continue to provide the best service to our community.
Absolutely. Well, I'm honored to have been a part of this department and able to serve the community that I grew up in, that I raised my children in. It's been an amazing run, and I'm proud to say that I'll be retiring from this department.
And we're going to invite you back on.
Okay.
We're going to invite you back on as a guest.
Yes,
of course.
I could be a guest host. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you'd be a guest host.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, hopefully we're gonna prompt this video by saying this is Christy's last video, so give her some good comments, tell her how much you appreciate her.
All 10 of you.
No, it's gonna be more than 10, but that's why we'll prompt it, but she does do an amazing job, and
Thank
she's
you.
gonna be missed, and the things that you do here, it mattered, and it will continue to still matter, so don't be a stranger, because we might need you. I said, Christy, come on, we gotta do the show, and you're
I'm all
like,
in.
I don't work there anymore, Anna. I'm like, what? When did that happen? But anyway, so congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your retirement.
Thank you.
And I think, so next month, it'll be a surprise. We're going to see what we're going to do. So, but we're going to make it work. But you might see Christy again next month. You never know.
Maybe. Why not?
You never know. So until then, do you have anything else you'd like?
No, I just want to say thank you. It's been great working for you.
Thank you, appreciate it. And so I think, Elgin, till next month, make sure that you stay safe, you stay connected, and you stay engaged. We'll see you next month, Elgin.
Bye-bye.